Come on. What I want. Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, painting live on Thursday, October 16th at 7 p.m. Central Time. So I have your bisque for your October box in the picture, and when I went to the shop I forgot to bring my box back, so I don't have your Halloween treat. Everyone should have gotten a Halloween treat. The large paintbrush for painting on nylon, and was there something else? I don't remember. So we do have the Cornucopia and the oak leaves, and I didn't have time to look to see if everyone got theirs or not either. You do have you should have extra holes on the back where you can put string through or a twisty to attach it to a wreath, a straw wreath, a 14-inch straw wreath. And then we have the so you have the center one that's got the two leaves going each way. Then these leaves are going to the right, so I put them on the right, and then these leaves are going to the left, so I put them on the left. And I just hot glued them onto my straw wreath, and here is the straw wreath. It's kind of hard to see in the screen, the whole thing. You could put, like I put this cornucopia on the straw on the bottom, but it does fill that center hole if you wanted to put it in that center hole. That's how Donna's originally did it. But I kind of liked it on the bottom with the leaves around it. And then they put the leaves like in thirds around it with that in the center. So you can do different things with it. So that is our leaf and cornucopia for on a wreath, a 14-inch wreath. So that is that. Now I did just put in the order yesterday for our molds from January through May, and I need to add June's yet. They know I'm going to let them know. But we will be doing in January, the Let It Snow wreath with the snowmen. It's like a bunch of snowmen, and then there's a banner that says Let It Snow, and that's going to kind of coordinate with your December box that you'll be getting. That's a Let It Snow thing. And then we will be doing the wreath accent for spring, I think in March. So it says Welcome Spring, and then there's a bunch of bunnies. So I think that's that way you can reuse your wreaths if you want to, just to make it something kind of useful. And then you guys are kind of happy with the wreath accents, and so we're gonna add those to our boxes for next year. All right, so I have our pieces, and we're going to base coat all of them with black brown, and I did just pull out all my paints here. And I do like to always show base coating because that's really an important part of your piece, so that you have a good piece. So let's put these guys aside, and then I just use foil. You can use a tile or paper plate, whatever you want, but I like to just roll up the foil and throw it out. So we have black brown, OS 473, OS 473. I did just post a little while ago that there's 4 of you that are waiting on your second box, but it's been a really busy week here, worse than normal. So they will be coming. I can't ship them Monday because I'm leaving too early in the morning tomorrow. We have to go to Marcella's and get our Clay Magic molds. And I don't like to drop them off on Saturday because then they sit all weekend and get banged around. So they will actually be going out Monday, but I did post that. All right, so I did dip my brush into the water and then patted it on my paper towel, and that just conditions it. And then we go into our black brown. And now we're just going to brush back and forth. And it's really important that you So you don't want to just put that paint on there and leave big old puddles and ridges of it. You want to brush that out really well, because that base coat is really important. It's the start of your piece and is going to affect your dry brushing. So if you have ridges and puddles when we're dry brushing, the brush is going to catch on those. And so we want to brush that out so it's nice and smooth. And then we want to get all of our areas and not have any little white spots. So now I did go with the black brown because I didn't want really black in my crevices. So you can use other colors besides black when you're dry brushing. A lot of people think you can't, but you can use whatever color your little heart desires. Basically, whatever color you want in your crevices is going to be your base coat color. And then if I notice I have a ridge somewhere, like as it's drying and it's maybe real wet somewhere, I'll go back and just grab that and brush that out. All right, let's see if we got comments going on. Come on, where's the comments? So I did have 2 broke pieces this month, so make sure you guys open your boxes and check your boxes. One of them is actually a new lady, and I think it's probably her UPS people, because she's had a broken pieces in several of her boxes here already, so I'm not sure what I can do about that. But make sure you open your boxes, check them for broken pieces. If there are, you have to provide pictures of the box, the brown wadded up packing paper, the bubble wrap, the extra cardboard that's in your box. Normally, if you're getting one of the boxes that are bigger than the normal BIS box, I do put extra cardboard in there to try to reinforce that. And then I've been really trying to reinforce them a lot, because we have had a couple broken things. I'm not sure what they're doing. And then a picture of the piece that's also broken. Those bigger boxes do now have the red fragile sticker on them. I didn't like to use them in the past because I've heard from past employees that they say that's a target, and they try to throw them around and throw things at them. And so I haven't done that in the past, but they are on the top of the bigger boxes now. You will notice that, and that's because we've had a few more broken pieces. So I don't want them saying that they weren't marked fragile when they were. So that's just a extra insurance policy on my end. So that's why you will notice the fragile sticker on bigger boxes now. Your normal monthly box, those have been fine for the most part, and so you won't have that big red sticker on those. So it's just when you have a lot of the extras. I was hoping to get the newsletter done and out before today, like Wednesday, and I have not had any time to do that. So I don't know that we're even going to make it before the sale on Sunday and the free class, but it'll still be coming probably later next week. And then I do have the free class on Sunday with the translucents, and so that newsletter will have a PDF or the instructions for the fashion used piece. It's the corn pumpkin. So that will be in the newsletter. And that, if you haven't signed up since last week, you may want to go sign up on brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com, where it says stay in the loop. Courtney's been working on that, and the week before last week, we actually had to archive all of the previous email addresses and start out fresh. And so if you want to be on that newsletter list to stay in the loop with things, you're going to want to go to brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com and sign up again for the newsletter. And that will be coming. It's 100% coming. It's just been a super busy week here. So we're getting our black brown on, and you can see it doesn't take a whole lot of, it's not hard work, and it's not technical, but I do like to show it every time because it's just really important, because we can see now as these areas are drying, they're nice and smooth, and that's what we want, because if we have puddles or lakes and ridges of paint, when we're dry brushing, the dry brush, so like even like now as this is drying, there's like a little wet streak there. I'm just going to grab that and brush that out. And so I do look for that in case I missed it when I was brushing it out. So then the brush will catch on there and you'll have areas highlighted that really shouldn't be highlighted, because really it's just a paint ridge and not really the bisque itself. So it's really, really important. Just like anything, when you build a house, you got to have you want to have 2x6s and not 2x2s. Like it's really the same, kind of the same concept. You want to have that good base product to dry brush on. And so I know you guys probably get sick of me showing it every time, but it's just really important. So I'm going to dry base coat it here so we can have a nice piece, and you can see how smooth, see how smooth that is through here. Like there's no puddles and ridges of paint, and that's exactly what we want, so that when we're dry brushing, it's catching on our bisque and not on the paint ridges. All right, so let's get some more black brown. Again, we're using black brown, OS 473. If anybody has questions, you guys are always welcome to post in the comments. I have the phone and the tablet here to try to catch all your comments. I have been pouring things for our live, so you guys will have there will be new bisque on the live sale on Sunday. I'll probably grab some other things off the shelf too to make room for things. I've actually worked at the shop last week and have 2 shelving units that are just for our live sales, like prepping for them. And so the bisque is on there, and then they're in little shoe boxes or little clear tote things. And then the papers that I need to write your names on when you guys purchase them, that's all there. So I'm trying to get more organized so everything isn't a last minute rush here, but everything still seems to be a last minute rush because there's just too many things to do. I will have a bunch of crows. I will update the website when that'll probably all be next week, because we didn't have a lot of crow egg impressions for October to ship, but I've been pouring them since, so we will have the crow egg impressions. I'm finally caught up on the haunted houses, and so I'm like 3 ahead on that, so we will have haunted houses if anyone's still looking for the haunted houses for next to ship in November, but all that will get updated on the website after. I still got like a busy through Monday here. I had an eye doctor appointment next Friday, but now they had that scheduled on Tuesday, and I don't know why it was supposed to be scheduled on Friday, not Tuesday, so now they canceled that. I had to cancel it because I have shop hours, so that actually freed up a day next week. So now I am doing the back on this just because it is a wreath and you may see the back. So the back would be like doing the bottom. I always do the bottom on my pieces. And so I can show you, here's a good example of, like I said, and I already got it brushed out. So say you put that paint on there and you just let it and you go to another spot. Now, if you can see, like there's a big lake right there. So that is what you don't want. You want to brush that out and make sure it's nice and smooth. We don't have any rivers and lakes and puddles. So we want to get it nice and smooth. So I do like my backs and my bottoms to look good too. You want your piece to look finished. Now you don't necessarily need to do that center part, but we kind of do want to do this whole back of it, because that maybe you may see that on the wreath from the back side. So I do want to get my whole back. And then I tend to do that little lip of how thick the piece is, and that's just me. I just like to have that trimmed out. So it just looks nicer, I think. So now I'm coming back over here because we got like all that's dry, but see how there's like 2 streaks of really like wet stuff? So I'm just going to grab that and brush that. And so that'll make that flatter so our brush doesn't catch on that. But we really won't be dry brushing the back so much. But if that was the front, that would be the case. And then you want to make sure you get your little edges here too. This was actually a really fun piece to do. I'm glad you guys liked the wreath accent. I know someone was going to do it with that deco style with the ruffly stuff, and I haven't seen that posted yet, so I'll be interested to see how that, I would think this should look really cool on there, but that's something I've never messed with, is that tool that you make those puffy wreaths with, but I would think this would be really colorful on there. And then it's a nice size. It's really hard to find a Cornucopia that's under 12 inches to fit in the box, and so this was kind of my my compromise, because usually they're like 15 inches, 13, 15 inches, and so that won't fit in our box to ship. All right, so I'm just looking for any little white fleas, which is any little white spot that's coming through after it's dried. And then if it's streaky anywheres, if it needs a little extra coat brushed over it. Got some little white fleas up there on the corner. All right, now I can flip it back over. So now here, when I'm talking about that, see, as this dried, we got these little tiny white spots. And you really want to cover those up, or they're going to really stick out when we're dry brushing. So now that it's dry, I just go and look around for any little white fleas. And I'm also going to go around my edge here because we painted on the back and we don't want any puddles on the edge. So you can see I got, and you want to look from all different angles, like looking now from the bottom up, like there's a flea, here's a little white flea here. And it may seem really time consuming to go back and look for all those, but they will really stick out once you start dry brushing. So we really do want to get them all covered up. We want nice, solid, even coverage. And then I want to look at different angles because we got this fruit is all in all different shapes. So I'm kind of looking at it at every little angle. Now see, I just turned it and see all the little fleas right there on our corn. So that's why you want to look at your piece from every angle. Like don't be afraid to turn it and look at your edges and your sides, and from your top down, your bottom up, and you'll find those little pesky white spots. And they're kind of like fleas, like they just don't go away. You touch them and you got to come back and touch them up and touch them up. And so you can see I'm just kind of like flipping it every direction so the light hits it and I can see, and like I'm going to spin it, and now I'm going to do that same thing from another angle. So you want to look at all your angles, get all those little white, tiny white spots. And then when you think it's good, you can set it down and go to your leaves. And then we'll get some more black brown, OS473. Ooh, I got way too much. All right, so we have our leaves. Another set of acorns. Just my box yesterday. I'm still living with my mom. Okay. Oh. You're okay. I kind of thought it was you, Kim. All right, so we have our little leaves here. I will be having the acorns and the leaves in the live sale on Sunday. And then I could probably put them on the website after that too. So I just thought people might like the leaves because they're just kind of cute to lay on the table or put around or whatever. So now I'm just going to kind of hold on in one spot and get as much of it as of our little acorns and leaves as I can on the front. And then I will lay it down and do another one and then come back to the little area that's left. So I think it's going to be really cool on the that deco stuff. Right, so we can kind of flip it if you want. And then we just want to get the back too. Just really good coverage. And I think our colors, our tree colors are at peak, or right there within a day or two. We're looking pretty good here. So it'll be a nice ride down to Marcella's tomorrow to see all the tree colors. Although it's still very, very dry here. So I'm going to flip it around, kind of look at my sides. And you do end up with little fleas on your sides here. And then I'm just going to sit this on the paint bottles over there and go to the next one. Let's see. Yeah, I have quite a few sets of these, so I figured they'd be pretty popular of just the leaves. So they'll be in that live sale on Sunday from 2 to 4 Central Time. And you can find that in the events, and I can show you guys the events again because I know some of you don't know where those are at. So let's go to events so you guys can find those always. So you're going to go right to my main page, and every phone and tablet and computer is going to look different. But we have our main picture up here, and then we got posts and about, and you click on more, and then this one right here is events. And so now those are all my events that are coming up. They're scheduled through the end of the year. So this is Sunday. We have two. I have two on Sunday. So you just click on this one. This is the selling event online. And so it's got, let's see, we should be able to see more information. It's got the date and the time up here. It's in like my mode where I can manage it. So it's probably a little different. Oop, that ain't what we want. So it should have interested on there, and then you guys can click on interested, and then it will remind you. And then our next one is the free painting class on Sunday night at 6. And so that's going to be the corn pumpkin that we're going to do with the translucents. And so if you scroll down about the post, like I actually have the little description of it, and then all of the colors that I use too, so you guys could order it on the website if you want to. So if we go back, then our next selling event is in November, and then our next free class in November, and I don't have what we're doing on there, and then our next selling event, free class, is in December. So this one in November will be the last selling event, I think. So, but if you click on those and then click interested, it'll remind you when and then like you can see I'm live here, so you can click right on that, but you guys would, we want to get back into this group here. So that's how you find those events. All right. We're getting a drenching on Saturday. Well, I hope we don't get a drenching because yesterday I started something with my garden shed, and it had 3 walls on it. My dad sawed the lumber and built it, and so it was for my welder, and now I'm getting his welder, and so I want to put the 4th wall on it, and so it can be locked up and get his tools, my tools that I got from him, from our family going through his things, because he passed away in February. So all that stuff is on my patio, and I need to get it into the little garden shed before everything is snowed on. So yesterday I emptied everything out because I haven't really done anything with it since the bisque box started. So that's like 6 years ago, but it was probably another year before that. And so it's just been a dumping ground where everything gets thrown in there, from the weed eater to the hedge trimmers to the snow blower to tarps to the shovels and everything. So I actually had to take everything. I took everything out yesterday because it was just piled in there and I couldn't even like walk in there. And so I came across a possum in a pail. So that was just a whole nother problem. So I hope we don't get too much rain because all my things that were in there are sitting outside. They're not even on the patio because there's no room for them on the patio. So I kind of got a mess here on top of everything else. All right, so we're getting our little leaves with our black brown, and again, I'm just going back and checking and flipping them around and looking for any little white spots. And so we're going to set that one aside. And then my birthday was yesterday, so I had purchased myself a tool chest for the tools that I got that were his, so they stay nice. That's what started the clean out, because I need a place to go with all that stuff. And so I put down some patio pavers to put it on, because it's just gravel inside there, and just one thing leads to another, and now I really got a big mess to clean up. But it'll get there, hopefully before the snow's flying. All right, so I'm doing the back of my leaves as well. Where's the comments on this one? And thanks for the happy birthdays. So it was a day just to kind of get that started so I can get it, work at it here and there when I have a little time, because believe it or not, if you can't do like 8 hours at something, or 6 hours, if you like do a half hour here and a half hour there, by the end of the week, you kind of accomplish, you get it accomplished, even though you don't get it done in 8 hours like you maybe normally would. So that's kind of how that ends up working out. But I had to get it like started before I could even work on it, and a half hour here and there wouldn't have done it. So I really had to just haul everything out, and now I gotta get some more pavers and do the other half, and then get everything put back in there and organized, and probably throw out a bunch of stuff that's just been collected that I'll never get to, like old windows and things. So all right, so that's looking pretty good. Let's put that guy aside. So now I'm going to come back and check this guy. Now I do see a little white dot right there, so we're going to get that. And then just check it again. So that looks pretty good. Now we can come back to our first piece and get our little part where we were holding on to it. So I like to just let it dry, because otherwise if you take a hold of another area, it's not really dry enough, and then the paint just peels off and it's stuck to your finger. And so thank you guys for the happy birthday. So we'll just get that little end where I was holding on to it and make sure we don't have no little white spots. I'll just put it back on my paint here again. And we need just a little bit more to get our other ones. So again, I can see I got little white spots there. See how them buggers pop up? You think you got them all, and they just come back. And so we'll get this done. Just flip it around. And I'm just holding on the other area now that that's kind of dry. And that way, hopefully the paint doesn't peel off and get stuck to my fingers. So I know tomorrow we're picking up the Clay Magic mold, so we'll have the tree, that Yum Yum tree toppers that they came out, which is the witch's hat, which won't be dry in time this year for Halloween, but that's okay. And then we have the Santa's hat. Oh, I see some white spots. And then we have the Clay Magic, I don't need to brush that out, we're not dry brushing. The Highland Cow ornaments that they came out with, I actually have 2 of those molds. I can't remember, and I can't remember what else we have. There's not a lot, but it's still a pretty expensive little trip, so. And that's like a whole day to go down there and come back, so it's probably my last trip for the year and for the winter, unless their next new release is something really, really cool that we just gotta have, which it's probably going to be snowmen. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't like to drive that far in the winter, and so it's probably our last drive down there till it gets nice again in like the end of March, April. So we'll have to see. Right, let's put that guy there. We got a little one there. And then I do have to go pick up our boxes. I was going to do that today, but I couldn't do it. And I ordered enough of those that I won't have to go down. And that's only an hour one way, but that's still 2 hours on the road when the roads are crappy. So I ordered 500, so we'll have enough of those to get us through winter also. And then I ordered our molds, and then I ordered another pallet of clay to get us through winter. So we got a lot of stuff going on. So, all right, so everything looks like it's pretty good without any white spots, hopefully. So I'm going to wash out my brush. And then pat it dry, and then I like to groom it back to its little shape, and then put it off to its side. The side here. Oh, no, we got a couple of little white spots. All right, so even if you see them, like right there's one, and right there's one, and there's one, and there's one. We got to go back and touch them up because otherwise they're going to haunt us. And they're just really tiny, but they are there. All right, so is that it? I think that's it. All right, so our number 2 is to dry brush our oak leaves, which will be up there, and there are also oak leaves on our piece with cinnamon. So we have our cinnamon, which is our OS 481 cinnamon. All right, so I'm just going to put that on the foil, and it'll take quite a bit of that, and I got it all over my hand. But if they have a really nice new release of snowmen or whatever it is, we'll still make the trip. Probably just go ahead and make the trip down there. I just banged the phone with my head. Sorry, guys. That looks okay. All right, what do I like? I like usually about a size 3. But these guys are kind of big, so I'm going to go with my round size. I think can't tell if it's a 3 or a 5. So I'm going to dip, and this is a boar bristle brush, which is different than the nylon one that we were just painting with. So I'm going to go into my cinnamon and kind of brush back and forth on my paper towel here and kind of work it into those bristles. You don't want to stab and dab because that just breaks your bristles. You actually want to brush. And so we're brushing, and then I'm brushing to get the sides too because you don't want it to build up on the sides. All right, so let's put him aside first, and we'll start with our oak leaves. And we try to avoid the acorns if we can, but if we can't, that's okay, because what we want to do is go across any crevices and textures. So these lines are going horizontal now, so we're going to go vertical. And then we have this crevice between the acorn and the leaf, so we want to go across that too. So we will get our cinnamon onto our acorns, but that's okay, because if we have to touch them up, we do. And you want to go very dry and lightly. If you have, just checking to see if we have any questions. If you're wet and shiny, that's usually too much paint in your brush. You want it to go on real soft. Now that's really close to being wet and shiny, but it'll be okay. You don't want it any wetter looking than that. So if it's going on really wet looking, that's too much paint in your brush for dry brushing. All right, so we're just going back and forth, back and forth. And the reason we go back and forth is that keeps those grooves dark, so now they're still dark brown. If I went the direction of those grooves, if I went this way, the brush would actually fill those in because it would go in there. But if we go across them or against them, that's how we keep those crevices with the dark brown in there, the black brown down in there. And so we just brush back and forth. I did go with the rust or the cinnamon instead of the rust because I wanted them a little bit darker. Usually the oak leaves are a little bit kind of darker, and They got that rustish red look to them. They're not the prettiest leaves on the trees. I don't know if all of you guys have oak trees by you or not, but usually they're a very kind of an ugly leaf. They're very brown when they come down, compared to the maples that are, you know, the nice reds and oranges and all that good stuff. All right, so we have like one layer on our whole front, and because these are on the wreath, you want to get the side, and then these are like curved up a little bit, so I actually come back into the base a little bit, just so that if someone's looking at the piece from the side, you want those tips all to be colored. So I did go on the back, and you don't have to get the whole back, but you definitely want to get these little fingers that are sticking out so that they have color on them. So if they're sticking up above the straw, like they have color and they look nice. And then this is pretty flat back here, so it really doesn't matter which way you're going. Like there's no crevices to worry about. So we just want to get color. So that's a little wet. I want to brush that out. See how that's wet and shiny there? That was a little much. We just want to keep it really soft looking, and less is better with dry brushing. And I'm actually just let that dry when it's that wet like that. But we're going to work our way around our other little fingers here. And so now, even though, so we did the front and we kind of did the back, you still got to go on the side. So hopefully you guys can see, like, they're still brown on the side. So we still have to go up and down or back and forth across the side. Whoop. So that's definitely too much. And I'm going to try to just take that and wipe it off and then brush out my brush. And that happens because I'm talking and not really paying attention to what I'm brushing out on the paper here. But we do want to get the sides here as well as the front and the back. And so we're going to just work our way around it. Now, right there is a little tiny white dot. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's really, really tiny. But I'm actually going to take a brush and go back to my black brown and touch that up. Now it's gone. And we'll let that dry and just work around the other parts of it. We'll let that dry now. So now here's another one right on that tip. If we don't touch them up, like you can see that they kind of really stick out. So we want to touch that up. Try not to get too much paint on there. All right, so we'll let that one dry too and just come down here to this one. So do take the time to touch things up if you have them little white spots. And then we're getting our side. So now here's another one. So you think you got them all, but oh, they're just like pesky fleas. Like, there they are. I'm still here. All right. Now we can see this whole side is brown, the black brown. So we want to get our cinnamon on there. Now, usually down in that little deep part right there, I let that a little bit more darker with the black brown in it, because that's kind of the deep area. So it would be darker, but like these tips, like this tip here, we want to get this tip on the side. And then I just start going lighter as I'm getting towards that little crevice down there, because they would be darker down there. So now we can get it over our white spot over here that we covered up. All right, so that's kind of got like one nice layer all over it. So I like to lay that aside and let that dry some more, and then we will go to the next one. Excuse me, because that's drying, excuse me, when we go back to dry brush on it, the paint will stick to it a lot better. All right, so I'm just brushing that out again. And then I'm just going to hold where the acorns are, just because like we're not doing them with the with the cinnamon. So you can see that's kind of wet and shiny. You just want to brush nice and lightly, and just get a little bit on at a time. Dry brushing just kind of takes a little bit of patience that way, because we want to get it done fast. But to get that nice soft look that we like, you really do have to go a little bit at a time and nice and light. And you don't have to put tons of paint in your brush. Like a lot of people will scoop up a lot of paint and then they just brush it out on their paper towel. And so when I'm going to get that, like I'm just getting a little bit on the edge there. That's all I'm getting, and then brushing it. So you can see how it brushes a lot out on the paper. But you don't need to scoop up a lot of paint and then just waste it on your paper. Just get a little bit of paint and then brush it out. All right, so we got some little spots back here, so we're going to touch them up. All right, so I'm going to let that one dry and go to the other one. And again, I'm kind of holding where the acorns are. And again, just brush back and forth really, really lightly. Like you don't have to like really bear down and really brush on your piece, because see how that got to be too much at one time. That's not, I guess, my style. I like to go a little bit at a time and then build it up so we have a more softer look. So you don't need to put a lot of pressure on your brush. Just kind of medium back and forth. And now that guy's got a layer on it, so we'll spin it around and we can come over and do the other leaf. And don't be afraid to turn your piece so you can, so it makes it handy for you. A little bit wet. And if your paper towel starts getting a lot of paint on it, you want to get a new piece of paper towel or paper bag or whatever you're using, because then you're not really wiping the paint off the brush. And so like I'll flip that over and now you can see how much paint came off there. So let's flip this guy over, get a little bit and brush it out. Again, we want to get these edges, because like they're like folded up, and so we want them to have color on them. And I just bring it around the back just a little bit. I really liked the leaves with the acorns on them, and then I did those with the bronze on them. It really made, on the caps, it really made them, actually no, I put the bronze on the acorns themselves. It really made them kind of cool. Because when you go to like Hobby Lobby, you see acorns in all different colors and things, so. I was working on the gingerbreads that are going to be in the live sale on Sunday, but I'm probably not going to get them finished now. But we'll have those available as the 5 small ones, and then the big gingerbread, and then the donut tree. So it'll be like 3 listings in the live. And then I will have instructions, because I'll get them finished next week. It's just I don't think I'm going to have time to get them finished by Sunday. It all depends how busy the shop is on Saturday, because there's a lot done, but there's quite a bit to do yet on them. All right, so we got a really big white spot right there. You can see it on the side. We want to touch that up. We got one right there too. So they actually have a lot of work in them already, probably 24 hours. And they're going to take, there's probably another a good 8 hours in them yet to touch them up. And I didn't even I actually quit doing the back on the little guys to try to save time to get them done so that they're done for the live. But then I haven't had time to go get the embellishments. Like, I want to put like faux or fake sprinkles on them and candies, and so I haven't had time to do that either. So, but they're to the point where you can see how cute they are. So then we got another little white spot. So they are really cute. And they will be, like, all set of 5 of them will be, because there are 5 Christmas ones. And then if you don't want all 5, like, after the live, I will put them on if there's any left over, or for the following month in November, I'll put them on the website to purchase separately, because I know some of you may already have some of them. But to start out, where I'm going to do all 5. So if someone wants all 5, and then the big guy, and then the donut tree. So, and then I will have the instructions available to purchase too. So they're a lot of fun, but they're a lot of dry brushing. I can tell you that if you're doing all of them. But definitely a really cool pieces. I'm still kind of working on the Hershey's 2-piece ornament on the branch. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have those in the live this time or not. I was hoping to, but I still have to work on the electrical part of those, and there's like no directions anywheres, not on their website or anything. So that's been a little bit of a struggle, just trying to get the pieces that go with each scene and everything figured out. So if I have them, they're going to be pretty limited this time, or otherwise I'll just hold them until December or the November live, so that everybody can get them. But I do have another ornament from Noel's that's a vintage one that you guys will be able to get. I've been pouring that, and that one you can kind of create your own scenes in. So that one's pretty cool, and I've been pouring some little Mr. and Mrs. Clauses, some Scioto people from the Christmas village with the little boy throwing the snow in a sled and things, so you can kind of make your own scene with that one. So that one's pretty cool too. What else? There's some Christmas tree ornaments. I'll post a picture on Saturday when I'm at the shop of the shelves with the bisque that's going to be in the live sale on Sunday. So I know you guys kind of wonder about that always. So now I'm back to the one we put down. Well, let's see, we got white spots there again. So they're just pesty like fleas. So that's why we call them fleas, you guys. So you probably think I'm crazy, but they're just as pesty as fleas. All right, so we'll let those dry and just work our way the other way. Whoop, too much. So let's see, that's how wet that looks. That's just way too much. We got to brush that out. Can't think of what else there is. I did a sneak peek picture, I think, of the greenware for your November box. I didn't really even get to see if you guys seen it and liked it or not. They are the Clay Magic ornaments that stand alone with a little pine bough base. And then they have the scenes on them. There's a snowman with a bird, a house, and some Christmas trees, and then the church and the Christmas trees. And so I do have the plain ones so that you guys can make your own little designs on them of that same size. But I also have there's 4 other sizes of it in shape. So I do have all of them. So I've been pouring those too. So you could put decals, no fire decals or fired decals on them, or you could freehand your own little pictures on there. You could decoupage on it. So I'm hoping to get a couple samples of those done before Sunday too. So they're just really cool. I didn't get the ones with the scenes on them as the 4 larger ones. So they come as extra small, large, and I think extra large. So one is like really oblong standing up, one's oblong this way, and then there's 2 smaller versions of that. So it's really cool. Like you could put I ordered rice paper that you're supposed to be able to print on. And so hopefully you could make your own decoupage, like from your own pictures. And so hopefully I can do that on Saturday too, and have a sample of that so you guys can see what you can maybe do for your own, maybe family picture or your house, and put it on, or a loved one or a cardinal, and put it on those ornaments. So hopefully I can get that done too Saturday. So there's just not enough time. That's about all I can say. Too much to do and not enough time. All right, so our cinnamon is on all of them now. So let's go back to our, oh, it looks like we're buffering here a little bit again tonight. We just had some rain go through. So hopefully it ain't buffering too bad on you guys. All right, so we do have oak leaves on here. And so we probably want to get those right away. So they're up here, down here, and then over here. So I would say just go ahead and get those as long as we're working with our cinnamon. Or if you'd rather, like, you can keep going on the set of 3. But I kind of like to work on like all the oak leaves at the same time, because then they kind of end up being more the same color. Because sometimes when you do something and then you come back to it, say you do one set of oak leaves and then you come back to it, you may not achieve the same matching color. Sometimes you can get pretty close to it, but it just depends how you feel that day and how your dry brushing is going, maybe how the moisture is in the air. So you can end up with different colors. Now, this isn't such a big thing with these acorn leaves, but like if you're doing a big Santa or a Mrs. Santa, you want to do all your reds. You want to work on those reds together. Say you have a 2-piece Santa. You want to do the top and the bottom together, because if you do the bottom or the top and then come to do the other part, like say you completely finish the top or the bottom and then you're going to do that other part to match, you're going to find that they're not going to match usually completely. They may be close, but if you work on the 2 pieces together, the top and the bottom, just go back and forth like I am here with our oak leaves, you'll have a better matching color, because each time you're working on both pieces, you're kind of like brushing the same, like brushing hard or brushing soft. I just really do recommend working on all of the areas so that they match a little better, especially a big piece, or not even a big piece, but something with that much red on it, because like a Santa and a Mrs. Santa has a lot of red on it. Now this little bit, this isn't that big of a deal. You could do them separate if you didn't want to mess with those tonight. That's a little wet, we got to brush that out. But say you're doing, say, a set of 3 pumpkins and you want those pumpkins to all be the same color. Like I would work on all 3 of them in steps versus doing one completely and then doing the next one completely and then doing the third one completely. You'll probably find that they're each just a touch different because you dry brush differently, depending upon how you feel or whatever. So, all right, so we want to make sure we get the edges of these guys too, just like we did with our other ones. So we're going to kind of just come and get each of our edges. Just spin it around. Don't be afraid of it. And then I'm actually going to get a little bit on the back side of this too, because like I said, it does, you may, too much, you may see it on the edge of the, once it's on the wreath, you may see it from the back. So I kind of do want it to look nice. So we're just going to get a little bit around the back here. So you can brush, like different people have different brushing, so you can go back and forth. I tend to do that little C, like I'm writing the letter C. And I think that kind of like burnishes the color down a little bit better. All right, so now we want to get down here and get these kind of on the back. So you have to do whatever works best for you. Like I'm just doing like kind of a letter C, little letter C. And you can do them either way. Like it doesn't, you can do it forwards or backwards. But see now if this is sticking over on the edge of our straw, then that has color there and it won't look like it's the back of it. It'll just look kind of good. So now we want to do the same thing over here. So hopefully we're going to be doing silk, well, we're either going to do silk screen or some kind of a non-fired decal on our February box. That's going to be 2 octagon-shaped boxes with lids. January was the Let It Snow wreath accents. Let me see. February is the octagon boxes with the lids, so we can do some silk screening. We haven't done silk screening, or else we'll do, and maybe we'll, I'm not sure, we'll either do it like a non-fired decal that's, oh, it's thundering out, so that's why we're having buffering going on. I guess all my stuff outside is going to get rained on really well. Okay, well, isn't that nice? All right, so I want to get this little edge in here. And now we can put that guy down, and now we'll go to our others and get some more color on them. So you can buy this decal paper that's non-fired decal that I thought I ordered it for the laser, but I actually ordered it and it came as for the inkjet printer. And so I don't have an inkjet printer, but I'm just going to grab one. So we may do those, because then you guys can like create your own decals. And then we'll figure that out and tell you guys how to do that and all that good stuff. Let's see, we have any comments over there? No, same comments. All right. We're going to do, I think, some kind of either magic metals or metals in one of the, I think it's the May box. We're going to have the Donna's 2 of the trowels that can be wind chimes. So you guys will be doing some wind chimes, or you don't have to do the wind chimes. It'll be the frog and the fairy. And so we'll do magic metals or some kind of metal thing on that. I think one of them was using the Fashion Hughes translucents. That might have been the bunny, the 2 Easter bunnies. So that's probably the March box, is Donna's girl and boy bunny that are together, and then there's 3 add-on bunnies. And I think we're going to maybe do those with the translucents. I can't remember what I had all picked out, so the only one I need to pick out yet is June. And so I was looking at the Doc Holliday frog. I don't know if any one of you guys have ever seen that. It's a frog bird house. So, but I wasn't real convinced you guys would want something like that, so I kind of have June on hold yet, but they do have my order so that they can at least start working on it, because I want to get those before it gets cold, so we have them here and it's not a problem. Now this thing is spinning around on me, so it's not a problem getting them in the winter because of our weather. So it's the Doc Holliday, it's a frog birdhouse, like the mouth is open and then the birds can go in it, or you can just use it for garden decor too. So I don't know if that's something you guys would like in a box piece or not. They have other pieces too. There's an owl, a possum, but those are too big. Like I have to get the one that's 11 inches. And so there's an owl and a frog that are in the 11-inch range that we could do. The owl, I was a little bit worried about the wings, so I'm not sure on that one either. But I'll look through the Doc Holliday catalog again and see if we can pick something out. All right, so we're just getting a good layer of cinnamon on our leaves. I usually like to say like we have like 10% of our base coating color left, our black brown. And we're pretty close to that on these guys. There's still brown coming through, so we want to get it more even. And so when I say that, like this is browner right here, and I'm not talking about the crevice, I'm just talking about the flatter areas. Like this is more brown here and this is more cinnamon. So we want to get that more even looking. And so we just keep brushing at it real gently and real lightly. We haven't done wind chimes, so I thought the trowel wind chimes would be kind of cute to do. And then you guys can do some metallics. And we got to get the sides here. We haven't done any metallics in a while either, so. Do you have the soft sculptured turkey? I don't know if there's any left or not. I would have to check. If you want to message me, then I can, when I check the messages, I'll see to check for it, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm not even sure if he's on the website or not, or if there's any on the shelf. There's probably one or two, but that might be it because he's been in quite a few of the sales already. But if you message me, then I'll see it, because when I come back to look through all the comments, it's kind of hard, and then I end up missing stuff. But if you can message me about it, then I'll see your message and I can check on it. It won't be till Saturday because tomorrow I'm going to be gone all day. All right, so this guy's, look, oh, so there's a lot of brown right there, so we want to just get it more even. So you don't want it like blotchy or spotty. You want a nice even layer of cinnamon on these guys. So that one looks pretty good. You could maybe have just a little bit more here and there, and that's too much. So we just want a nice even layer, which they're pretty even. I want to look at my tips and make sure those are good, and my sides. So he looks good. We can put him aside. So when we look at the one on the right, you can see it's got another layer versus, oh, there went the phone. The one on the left, so you can see that this is where people usually ask at the shop, how much, am I done? No, we're not done because this isn't as even as, this one's nice and even. The cinnamon is nice and even. When we look at this one, like we have a lot of cinnamon here, but we have a lot of brown here, a lot of brown here, a lot of brown here. A lot of cinnamon there, but a lot of brown there. So we want it to be more even when we look at it. So hopefully you guys can see that. So that's kind of the what I'm looking at when someone says, "Is this ready for more?" Or the next color. That's what I'm looking at to see if this layer, like our first layer after our base coat, is nice and even. Because if we have a lot of cinnamon in one area and not much in another area, when we go to our next color, that blotchiness is gonna carry right on through, and so that's why we want to have it nice and even in color. And then like around our acorn, like that's gonna be darker brown because that's our black brown. That's our shading that's we're getting by brushing nice and light. And so we're not actually filling in that crevice that's around our acorns and the crevices that are in our leaves. So if we brush light and brush against them, against those lines, then we will be able to keep that black brown down in those crevices. And so that's where I usually say there's like about 10% left of your base coat color. Now it might be a little bit less on these guys because they don't have a whole lot of texture. There's more big flat areas. But I'm just working my way around and getting it more even, and you just keep building it up a little at a time. Go from one piece to the next. It's a good thing I didn't take my truck through the car wash today. So we need some more cinnamon. I think we only had a 20% chance of rain, so I don't know how we ended up with thunderstorms, but that's kind of par for the course here this week. So we're going to brush that out really good. And you guys can always message me here on Facebook, or you can go to Square and you can message me through there too. I think if you go on my personal page, like Brenda Bart's, I think you have to be my friend to be able to message me there. But it's better if you just message me right here on the Facebook page, because I check that more often than my personal page. And then Square is fine too. Like I check that all the time too. Right, so we want to get our edges again on these leaves and our back a little bit, especially these little fingers that are sticking out, because they could be sticking out of our wreath. I have something that's really cute for the live sale on Sunday. Vicki Gehrig was selling molds, and she had the little Gare Bears, and we've had them before in a live, but this time she had the one with the nurse on it. It's a nurse bear, a fireman bear, and then a policeman bear. So they're just those little bears that are $5, but I have been pouring those, so those will be in the live sale on Sunday. So we'll definitely have a bunch of new stuff too. So. Those are always cute, them little, those little bears for the occupations. And then they have them for the birthdays, and I think, yeah, it's like they have like if you're a November birthday, there's a November one with like Thanksgiving stuff. All those should be on the website, although the nurse and the policeman and the firemen are not, because I'm pouring those, and I will have those in the live on Sunday. All right, so we got to come back over here and get this side. And then she did have a 8-inch, I love those Knoll, but the person who was going to fire them for me can't now. Oh, you have them. Oh, that's cool. We have the sports one. We have a bunch of the sports ones, and like three molds and there's 3 in each one, 3 of the sports ones and then 3 of the profession ones. But now I have the 4th profession one with the nurse. I'd love to get the one with the doctor if there's a doctor too. I think that would be a cool one to have. But this one has the nurse, the fireman, and the policeman. So, and then she had a turkey, the Kimple turkey. It's the 8-inch one, I believe, and I haven't opened it. And they don't make that one anymore. And so I did get that from her too, and it came like 2 days ago, and it's sitting here in the box because I haven't had time to open it. So hopefully this weekend I can open that guy, and we can have that in the November sale. Although it'll be a little bit late, but it's not the huge turkey. It's kind of the little bit, not a small one either. It's just kind of that nice size one. And we do have the big ones, but I haven't poured him. He's kind of a pain to pour. So I'm kind of excited to open the box and see what he looks like. All right, so let's put that guy down and go to this one. So again, we can see our difference again. See how this one on my right looks nice and even. The one on the left is kind of dark yet, and a lot here, but less over here, a lot there, and less over there. So we just want to get our oak leaves a little more even. So I'm usually not into those little bear things like that, but those, when they're the occupation, like the teacher and all that different things, I really like those because those make really good Christmas gifts. The hockey player and the basketball player and the soccer player, all of those should be on the website too, because we've had those before in the live, I think. Oh, it's raining again. I can't complain because it's been really dry here, but I'm going to have some really wet stuff, I guess. But I guess it'll dry out too. Yeah. So we just keep going with our cinnamon, like it's kind of a slow process, but there's a lot of colors in the cornucopia, so it might look like it goes really fast, but we got a lot of colors to go through, so it will likely take all 4 of our classes, I believe. Oh, I think our November free class is going to be that watercolor tree, or using some glazes is what our November free class will be, on that holly tree. Didn't get to do anything with the potter's wheel yet. Haven't had time for that. November is going to be kind of busy because my mom has to have cataract surgery on both her eyes now, so that's a whole nother thing that's going on here. All right, so we're going to flip this guy over and get our color on our sides and our back. So there's a little extra running going on with doctor's appointments, so good old cataracts. So again, these guys are kind of flipped up, so we want to get a little too much, get that color on them. And I know a lot of people only brush back and forth. Like you can brush back and forth. You can do them little half circles, the letter C like I do. I tend to do that letter C on these flat surfaces. So, but just do whatever works best for you to get your best results. All right, so I'm going to kind of turn it on the side here and get my side. So like on the sides, I do kind of do the little back and forth thing more than the letter C. When I was moving the molds, I did come across a bunch of lighthouse molds, which I knew we had, but I kind of forgot about them. So I think it'll be fun to be able to pour a bunch of our other things once the things get settled here and get those molds all moved, the other storage unit of molds moved yet. All right, so that's looking pretty good too. A little light right there. So those are looking pretty good. So we can go back to our cornucopia itself. Has anybody started their pieces already? It's always fun to see you guys when you post your pictures in the group to see how they come out. I don't remember who did the pinking. They used the pinking shears on the paper. That was really cute. I didn't even think of that, but that would have been a, I don't know if everyone would even have pinking shears, but that was really a cool idea. We're going to get the back. And then you can trim those if they seem a little bit too long. I wanted to make sure you had enough. So you can just take your scissors and trim those owls if you need to. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's go to the next one. Oh. Nope, working on October's box. Okay, cool. And starting tonight, Janet is good. I mean, you could even like hang this on the wall. You wouldn't even have to put it on a wreath. Like you could just, if you have somewhere's maybe a nail on the wall, you could even put this guy on the wall. He'd even be pretty cool on the wall for Thanksgiving. We want to make sure we get our tips here. Oh, Cheryl used the pinking shears. Yeah, that was really a cute little idea. That was, but then I thought, oh man, not everyone probably has pinking shears, but it added a lot of little character to them. Those little egg pressions, those are the cutest little things. Especially the whole Halloween set like that. All right, so we're going to get this one over here on this side yet. Oh, it's really raining out, you guys. Well, I guess I can't sweat it, right? So we're getting our little pieces looking good. I can't wait to get the gingerbreads done though. Even though they've been a lot of dry brushing, you really got to dry brush a lot of brown. But it's probably because I'm doing all the pieces at one time that it seems like so much. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So what does it say next here? Dry brush. Some saddle brown next. All right, let's see if we can get the saddle brown. All right, so we have our OS 489. Saddle brown, so that's a little bit lighter brown, but it's kind of a reddish brown. So I'm going to use my same brush again. Go in there and kind of work it in there, brush it out. So this is where those oak leaves, I have 3 of the molds, race car driver, golfer, hunter. Oh, I don't have those. And then, oh, and I do have the rest of those then. Yeah, but I don't have that first one, the race car driver, the golfer. Oh, no, I must have. I think I have those, Chastity, too. Pretty sure I must have those. I think those I have. So I don't know how many there are or what there are, but they're just really cute little things for people giving as little gifts. And if you put an ornament, like if you put the little U-hooks in them, they're so little they could actually be ornaments too. All right, so we're going to brush really light with our saddle brown. We just want to get our high areas kind of. We don't want to get rid of all of our cinnamon. And then I'm going to do the tips more and kind of let our cinnamon in here so that we're doing, so our leaves kind of look like they're changing color kind of a thing. And so I'm just going to kind of work from the outside in, so we have more and then less, and just kind of get the high areas. So it all depends if you want them more brown or if you want them with that little bit of redness to them. Because then you could do the whole thing if you wanted them more brown. But I kind of did like more and then less. And I kind of quit like right along here. So it just fades into it. And there's, you have to go from more to less so that you don't have a line. Like I don't really want to, like you drew a line. We wanted to have a nice soft transition into the center of the leaf. But like usually these tips out here have more of like the next color coming on them. All right, so we're going to do the same thing over here. And again, less is probably better, brushing. Trying to get those tips. Bring it up here. I guess you can see it better. Just kind of work my way around the edges. And then kind of come in just a little bit so it's like just really soft transition. And just kind of work our way around. And then again, like just more on the outside of those, each little finger there. And then we'll kind of do each little finger on the back here too, and the side. You know, the ladies at the shop were talking about that they're Christmas shopping already. So are you guys Christmas shopping too? Anybody got ceramic stuff on their wish list? Mine, I guess my Christmas and birthday were the tool chest that I bought to put my tools in. So I can just go out there and find them and not have to dig through actually they're all, the tools I have now are sitting in a clothes hamper out in the garage where I pour, so it'd be nice to have them in a tool chest where you can actually open the drawer and find what you're looking for, because it's where it's supposed to be, instead of emptying out the whole clothes hamper. It was just a container that I had that I put everything in. All right, so we kind of got one little layer around it. It's not a dramatic, but hopefully you can see there's a little bit. All right, so we're going to go to the next one and do the same thing. And we'll come back to that other one and put some more on it. Oh, we're really buffering here. It must be the weather. And again, I just kind of start with doing each little edge around the outside. And again, there's more here and then less as it's going in. More here and less as it's going in. So we have a nice soft fading of the color into the cinnamon. Because we wouldn't just draw a straight line with our saddle brown. We want it to look kind of natural. So you want that nice softness going around. So you can kind of see the difference now from that leaf to that leaf. It's just right around the edge. And it's stronger on the edge and then less as it's going in. Oh, Cindy says she's done. Oh, good for you. Mine's usually pretty easy for Courtney and Jason. I've been giving them money because it's just it's hard to get them the right thing. So we haven't even actually had Christmas the last 2 years because we've had sickness. Someone's been sick, so we've kind of missed Christmas. So I hope we get to do it this year. It'll be kind of nice if we can. The last time we did it, we played this card game. Oh, what was it called? It was something with cats. Oh, it was like a family type of card game. Oh, what was it called? It was cats. Something to do with cats. I'll have to think of it and post it. I'm painting the things I do every year for my staff at work. Oh, that's nice. Oh, the husband's bosses and the grandkids. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. And you ask for fashion hues and a few brushes. Oh, that's cool. So we have gift cards on the website too, so they could always get you a gift card, and then like it emails them a gift card and they can give it to you, and then you can use that to check out when you check out online, I believe. Otherwise I can like enter it for you too. So that's another way. We do have the gift cards, and they can pick like a theme, or whether it's Christmas or Mother's Day or whatever. So we do have gift cards on brendasbrushstrokesandbis.com. I always forget about those, but it is kind of gift card season here already. So some of the shop ladies, they're like their daughter-in-laws will get them gift cards for Mother's Days and their birthdays. So that actually works out really good. All right, so now we're going to get our edges on our edges here. It's a little wet. And again, I kind of do that like more here and less as it's going in. Because then you can kind of pick out what you want, and they don't have to worry about getting the wrong thing and trying to return it and all that good stuff. I don't really have anything on my wish lists since I got the toolbox, and I had bought myself a plasma cutter earlier this summer, but I haven't had time to even take it out of the box. So I guess that'll have to be my Christmas present. I don't need something else that I don't even haven't even used yet. So sometimes I'll get the shop stuff for Christmas, like those. Maybe I'll order a couple more of those clay. It's called Coal Mountain Pottery. I don't know if you guys have seen those. It's they're like 3D printed rolling pins. They're white, and we didn't have to do that. Those actually stay dark. And you roll they have like designs on them, and you just dust them with cornstarch, and then you roll out your clay, which you can get 04 clay, and then you roll those rolling pins, those rolling cylinders across your clay, and then you can cut that out into a dish or a bowl and put your clay into that and shape it into a bowl or a plate. And then you let it dry, and then you clean it up and then fire it, and then you can glaze it with like stroking coats and things. Those are pretty cool. I might get the shop a couple of more of those. I'd have 3 or 4 plates ready, but I haven't had the time to even fire them either. They're at the shop. Maybe they'll get fired Saturday when I'm there. All right, so you can see we've got a nice soft transition from our saddle brown, a lot on the outside, to less, and then we get a little cinnamon, and then more cinnamon and more cinnamon. So that's kind of what you're looking for to do with your leaves. So if you go to Coal Mountain Pottery, they are on Facebook. Like, they have pictures of your little things, of their little roller things. Like, they're really cool. You guys are welcome. I hope you enjoyed your Halloween bag of candy. Those are always fun to do. Just an extra little treat once in a while. All right, so now we switch to our saddle brown for our other little set of leaves here. And you can do these, they all don't have to be exactly the same either, because leaves are all different colors. So you could have them in different shades of saddle brown. Some could have more, some could have less, or cinnamon. Like, it's whatever you want to do, really. I kind of made mine all pretty close to kind of the same stage. So you guys can always message me if you have questions, you need help. So we need a little more saddle brown here, I think. And then we're probably close to our 8:30 time already. So our ornaments for next month, I'm pretty sure we'll have snow and glitter on those. And then they actually have some little, you'll have a tea light to go with those. You'll have 3 tea lights because they'll be able to be lit up. I put little holes in the sky background. So that should make those kind of fun. I always want to add yellow or red to leaves. Yeah, I mean, we get these. I stayed pretty brown because they're oak leaves. Like, oak leaves are, at least our oak leaves. I don't know if there's different oak leaves. Our oak leaves are all pretty tan, pretty tannish or dark brown like these. So that's kind of why I did this. I know but you can always add yellow or red, whatever you want to do. And I know there's different kinds of oak trees in different areas, so you could have oak leaves that are different colors too. So hopefully they will just make them the colors you like. And we have a lot of colors in the Cornucopia, so it's really okay that they're just brown too. I mean, they have a lot of color in them. They'll have more color by the time we're done. This is just the start of it. The rosy tan goes on there next yet, and it'll get light. It'll get a little lighter. But they actually have a lot of color to them. All right, so we'll do those, and then you'll want to do the same thing with these. Let's see if we got any questions going on. So we'll do the same with these. Whoop. Brush that out. Now here I'm just getting the edge of this one. I'm not trying to get this one in the center. I'm just kind of putting my brush more vertical and kind of catching it on that edge, because I don't want this to be all, I want to keep my cinnamon in there. And then I'll come to the edge of this one. So we want to keep our cinnamon in there. So we just want to get kind of the edge here. And it's okay if we get those two because those are both tips. Or maybe I'll find something at Marcella's tomorrow and treat myself to a Christmas present early. So we're going to come over and do the same with this one. And then this one here, again, we want to get just the tip. We don't want to get this over here. So that's where I drag my brush against that edge. Like I brush against that edge. That way it catches on there. If I go this way, then I'm going to get that full of the saddle brown. So I want to brush against my edge. And then we want to just keep turning it and getting it. And then we work our way and get the other one here. Kind of rushing a little bit because we're at 8:30, but I'm just getting the edges. And then this one we want to get just the edges here. We don't want to get this part here because that we want to have cinnamon. So I'm just going to brush against that edge again. And then that's our apple leaf, so we don't want to get that. Then we can brush against the edge there. See how we're keeping the cinnamon down in there? So we just want to get on this edge over here. And we want it soft too, coming into the center. And we can come back and look at these guys if they need a little more maybe. So it looks like we're at a pretty good stopping point for tonight, and we're at 8:30 already. So time flies when you're having fun. So you guys that are waiting for your second box, those will go out Monday so that they don't sit in the store all weekend and get banged up. So this, we got the leaves going to the right and we got leaves going to the left, in case you didn't know. And then we have this one with, they're on both sides. So that is where we're at with our cute little pieces. So move it over here. Looks like I'm getting out of screen on us. So that is what that's looking like. I think it looks pretty good. We got pretty far tonight already. So a lot of water oak. Oh, I never heard of water oaks. Okay. Or they have the brown leaves, or they have different color leaves. All right, so that's about it for our piece for tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed class. Again, as always, message me if you got questions. We will have the live sale Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then at 6 p.m. Central Time, we'll have our free class with the Fashion Hues Translucents, kind of a beginner's class piece it is. And if you get signed up on my website for the email newsletter, I probably won't get it out before Sunday, but then when it comes out next week, it will have the print. You'll be able to print directions for the Fashion Hues piece from Sunday, and then there'll be other stuff in there too. So that is kind of where that's at. And you just go to brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com, and it says stay in the loop to sign up for the newsletter. If you signed up before, just sign up again, because we had to start it over and delete all the prior sign-ups. So it was a little bit of a mess, but Courtney's got it straightened out for us. So, oh, brown with green. Okay. So kind of like ours here too then. All right. So I think that's about it. I'll probably post a picture of our molds tomorrow. I know they'll be wet when we get them. They've been there 2 weeks, but they don't dry out very well because they're on a pallet. So we'll get those home and get the dehumidifier going on them and the kiln fired, and then get them dried out. So we can have some Highland cow ornaments probably for our November sale, because I did get 2 of those molds, and then I did get the truck insert too. And there was a couple other little things, but I don't remember exactly what. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining me, and we will see you either Sunday or next Thursday. So have a great week and stay dry, everyone. Bye-bye.